J.Lo dominated the pop culture conversation in 2019, but let's take a look at where she comes from. Welcome to MsMojo, and today, we'll be looking at Jenny from the Block's hustle to the top.
But at her core, she's still.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block.
I'm walking on the block with Jenny from the block.
Jennifer Lopez likes to stress her humble beginnings, which take us to the Bronx in 1969, where and when she was born. Her parents, Guadalupe Rodriguez and David Lopez, were both Puerto Rican, and the family struggled financially when Jennifer was young, living in the Castle Hill neighborhood in an apartment that wasn't exactly sizable, considering they had 3 children.
We had rice and beans every day.
And something fried.
We didn't have a lot of vegetables or salads or greens or fruits or things like that. It was a whole different culture.
When she was slightly older, they were able to afford a larger 2-story home, which they considered a major accomplishment at the time. Jennifer and her 2 sisters sang and danced at home, putting on performances for their parents, which Guadalupe encouraged in order to keep them out of trouble.
Check out J.Lo's lost audition tape when she was just a number.
In her youth, Jennifer had training in both singing and dancing, but as she got older, she focused more on sports and athletics. But near the end of high school, she became more interested in acting, and got a part in a small movie called My Little Girl, which was released in 1986.
A world of violence and quick, easy solutions.
This was when she began to have dreams of becoming a movie star. She did some more acting in local musical productions, but her first break came when she was hired to dance with the New Kids on the Block in 1991. Soon after, she was cast as one of the Fly Girls on the show In Living Color, which is where her career really began.
First of all, we have a new Fly Girl coming all the way from Bronx, New York, Miss Jennifer Lopez.
During this time, she also toured with Janet Jackson as a backup dancer, but she had higher hopes than being in the background. She continued to act throughout the mid-90s, earning small roles in movies. But things really took a turn when she was cast in the role of a lifetime, playing singer Selena Quintanilla in a biopic about the performer that began production shortly after her tragic death.
Me siento muy excited.
The part brought Lopez into the mainstream, and even garnered her a Golden Globe nomination for her acting. Not only that, but the part reportedly made her the first Latina woman to earn $1 million for an acting role.
What are you doing?
I've had it, Chris. I've had it. I can't take it anymore. That's it. I made up my mind.
It's 12 hours away. You're supposed to be getting on that bus.
I don't care about El Paso. You mean more to me than any gig in El Paso.
The performance brought her more film roles, where she acted alongside the likes of George Clooney, for example.
Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah, I'd love one. Sit down.
Not only was she making waves in the world of film, but she was also about to become a star in the world of music. In May of 1999, she released her first single, If You Had My Love, which skyrocketed to the top of the Billboard Hot 100. Considering this was her debut single, it was huge that it made it to #1. Her first studio album, On the 6th, was released in June of the same year and featured other major hits like Waiting for Tonight and Let's Get Loud. Writing for the Los Angeles Times, Elisa Gardner described the music as seductively emotive as her work on the screen. By 2000, Jennifer Lopez was a bona fide star. In February of that year, she attended the 42nd Grammy Awards in a plunging green Versace dress that turned heads and made headlines.
One of those perfect moments. I walked out on stage and it kind of blew open and the dress was just provocative enough, I guess, to make people really interested.
In fact, it caused such a stir that it spurred on the creation of what is now one of the internet's mainstays, Google Images.
People were searching to try to find a picture of the dress, so they created Google Images.
That's right. Former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, said, quote, "People wanted more than just text. This first became apparent after the 2000 Grammy Awards, where Jennifer Lopez wore a green dress that, well, caught the world's attention.
Oh, nice. Did I lift it up too much?
No.
At the time, it was the most popular search query we had ever seen. But we had no surefire way of getting users exactly what they wanted, J.Lo wearing that dress. Google image search was born. In fact, in 2019, Versace held the fashion show for their Spring 2020 women's wear collection, which happened to be based on Lopez's 2000 look. Not only that, at the end of the show, Lopez herself strutted down the runway in an updated and even more revealing version of the dress. People were shocked that 2 decades later, she looked just as incredible in it, if not even better. It was in this era that Lopez began being known by her nickname J-Lo and released her album of the same name. Though music was still a major focus for her, her success in acting took a new turn. While she had continued to appear in movies throughout her career, it seemed as though she couldn't quite find her niche. But in the early aughts, she started making romantic comedies, and her fans loved it.
The last time I see you, you were scrawny and ugly, and your head was too big for your body.
How nice. Thank you.
In fact, in early 2001, her movie The Wedding Planner, where she co-starred alongside Matthew McConaughey, was at the top of the box office, while her album J-Lo was dominating the charts.
What does Steve want?
I want to dance. With you.
This made her the first woman to have a #1 movie and album in America at the same time. The following year, she starred in Maid in Manhattan, which was a major box office success and the most lucrative film of her career. It was also in 2002 that Lopez released her fragrance Glow by J-Lo, which ultimately became the best-selling fragrance in the country, despite the fact that hopes for its success were low at the time of its release. During this time, Lopez had entered into a relationship with Ben Affleck, which the press loved, giving them the moniker Bennifer. Affleck even appeared hilariously in the music video for Jenny from the Block. But along with this came the absolute bomb that was Gigli, the film that the couple starred in together.
He just implies a different level of commitment.
Ask me the question again.
Okay. Are you with me?
Yes.
It was panned at the time, swept at the Golden Raspberry Awards, and has gone on to be proclaimed as one of the worst movies of all time. While Lopez continued to make movies and music after this, her career undeniably slowed down.
Just so you know, the crying bits are getting old.
Just so you know, Kevin likes his girls thin.
Oh, well, I could always get liposuction. I've been meaning to ask, is it painful?
In the mid-2000s, she married Mark Anthony, and they had twins together, and things seemed quiet for her for a few years. But it didn't last long, because by 2011 she was primed for a comeback. It was announced that she would be judging on the 10th season of American Idol, and around the same time she was named Global Ambassador for L'Oreal. Her time on the show was a success, and by the time she was hired to do the 11th season of American Idol, sources were saying that she was banking $20 million for the gig. She also released her mega-hit single On the Floor in 2011, and while the album it was from, Love, didn't fare as well, it was still considered a major success. By 2016, it was clear she was at the top of her game again when she was given a Vegas residency. With ticket sales across 120 shows grossing more than $100 million, her residency became the 6th most successful of all time. All of this pointed towards Lopez being a major star even into her 40s, but by 2019, she was making a resurgence like no one could have imagined. She starred in the film Hustlers, which she also produced, playing an exotic dancer who had to take extreme measures after the 2007-2008 financial crisis.
And now, let's welcome to the main stage, the one, the only, Ramona!
She shone in the film even though she wasn't the lead, and received many acting accolades, including nominations for Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globe Awards, SAG Awards, and Independent Spirit Awards.
Where's your coat?
I left it inside.
Yeah, climb in my fur.
Come on. Okay.
Freeze out here.
I know.
While she didn't get an Oscar nod, her omission from the list of nominees was considered one of the major snubs of the year.
Thank you, CFDA, for this incredible honor, and to all the designers in this room and this industry who have added immeasurably to my personal and professional life.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. That same year, she was named the Icon of the Year by GQ, was hired as the face of Coach, and got engaged to baseball player Alex Rodriguez. It was also announced that she would be performing during the next year's Super Bowl halftime show alongside Shakira. In February 2020, many deemed their act to be far more entertaining than the game itself. She received extra praise for looking so incredible while doing the show at the age of 50.
Everybody over here! Let's get right here! Let's get.
We can't be sure what's next for this multi-talented performer, but we only see her star continuing to rise. Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.